I think we can start, sir.
Yes, yes.
So, a very warm welcome and good evening to everyone, our distinguished guests, and all the attendees joining us today. My name is Harsh Gaurav, and on behalf of Legal Research and Analysis, I welcome you all for today's webinar on Certificate Course on Legal Research. In this legal profession, it is often said that a great lawyer is not necessarily one who knows every law, but one who knows where and how to find the right law. Whether you are arguing before a court, drafting a petition, or preparing for judicial services, your legal research to be specific, will be the foundation upon which your entire legal argument stands. So today's session is crafted to help you move beyond your basic textbook reading and develop the structured critical research acumen which will be required in the actual practice, or for that matter, the judicial services exams or any of it. So today we have with us Pranav Jha sir. As you already know him, he is the co-founder of our organization, Legal Research and Analysis. And today he will be shedding some light on the practical aspects of legal research and benefits of it, and how it will help in bringing out the good lawyer inside you. Over the next hour, we will be walking through the nuances of critical case law analysis, comparative research strategies, and practical methods to sharpen your legal drafting and legal research and argumentation. To make the most of this session, we will encourage you to be attentive and keep a note-taking essentials. And we also have a dedicated Q&A round at the end, so where you can put your questions in the chat box, which we will be taking it after the discussions have been taken. And we all request you to keep your cameras on throughout the session as well, so that we can make it more interactive and more learning as well. So without any further ado, let's just begin the session. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Harsh. And very good evening to all the participants who have joined this webinar. We all are highly obliged to have you all with us. Uh, I can see that around 60 plus participants are there with us, and I'm expecting to get 100 participants by 5 to 10 minutes later. But then I wish all of you, I think that you have taken a very nice step to actually join this webinar, because I believe that legal research, for that matter, is very, very, very important if you are hailing from a legal background. So just to know what my audience are, you can please write down in the chat box that what is the current profession and what are you currently doing, so that I can relate and then carry forward the process further. If you are an advocate, you can write an advocate. If you are a law student, you can mention it in which year you are. If you are a working professional in any area where research is involved, you can write down that. Okay. Fifth year law student, CS professionals, third year law student, fourth year law student, law researcher, law students. Mhm. I can see most of the law students are here with us. I'm reading out. Please write down your yes, yes, yes. HR professionals, first year, second year, third year law students in litigation, currently nursing professional. Okay, okay. It's something out of the legal domain. ठीक है. I have seen that some of you have not turned on your cameras. If at all you can do it, it's on you. It's a request just. Fine. Getting back, yes, I got it. I got it. Most of those participants are here from law background, which is great, because I personally feel that for understanding of legal research, at least you should know about law, and then only the second step, that is research, is coming up, right? So again, the second question of mine is, you can define your own language in your own language. What do you mean by legal research? You can write it down in the chat box so that I understand the audience in its basic understanding. So, what do you understand by the term legal research? I'm just reading it down. Harsh, can you please read it down once they are writing down in the chat box?
Sure, sir.
I hope my question is clear, but it's a very simple question. What do you mean by legal research? You can write down in the chat box. So, since I have not received any of the responses, so should I consider that all of you are a fresher and you don't know anything about legal research? Will I have to take my session from here, assuming that you have no idea of it? Can you please give me a little idea of it so that at least I can cater to the audience I am looking for? Perfect. Now replies are coming. Can you
Yeah.
please read on?
Uh, Ankush says it is the process of finding the law that applies to a particular case.
Okay,
Suraya
good.
Lone says legal research is the systematic process of finding and analyzing and applying statutes, case laws, regulations, and legal authorities to resolve legal issues.
Mm-hmm. Very precise. Okay.
Maria Bhatt says finding, reading, analyzing, and applying the law to a particular legal issue or a problem. Pooja Gupta says it's interpretation of law. Sharmi says legal research is the process of finding and studying laws to answer a legal question or solve a problem. I think
Good.
the more understanding is very common that it's about finding and studying law and analyzing it and solving a problem through that.
Yeah,
Nidhi
yeah,
Sabat
good.
is process of finding, analyzing, and applying law to solve a problem or answer a legal question. It helps people to understand laws, quote arguments, and give correct legal advices.
Very true.
Shahbaz Anju
Very true.
is legal research means it is a type of research in which legal aspects of laws are designed and described to resolve a legal case.
Okay.
Hina
Very well.
says, yeah. Shall I read more?
Yeah, yeah, please, please.
Uh, Hina says legal research means finding out what the law says, which law, which laws apply to a situation, and what courts have decided about it.
Mm, very clear.
Aditi says legal research means researching on new laws and new legal terms.
ठीक है.
I think that's the end of it.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So now this is what I wanted. I just wanted to know कि मेरी audience क्या समझती है? What does they understand about the legal research? So now I am of the view that you all understand the basic definition of legal research. Now, how it is different from a general research or any of the research which you conduct or do it maybe during your master's, during your PhD. It is slightly more technical and slightly more aligning to the legal domain, right? I'm just going to share my screen. Just a second. Yes, I can see that my screen is visible. Right. So I welcome you again to the webinar on legal research. So the course is going to start from tomorrow itself. uh, what you're going to understand, what you're going to learn about the courts, what are the basic areas where the legal research and the definition to the whole drafting aspect will be taken care of by the faculty. His name is Vishal Vyas. He happens to be a civil judge and a judicial magistrate at Rajasthan Judicial Services. Uh, the best part about the whole process is the person who is going to teach you. He himself is a sitting judge, right? So to understand, to learn from a judicial officer is going to be a next level experience to you. I happen to be the founder and director of the company named LRA Legal Services Private Limited. We tend to keep on, taking up lot many courses. I am assuming that most of the participants who have joined this webinar are somewhere or other the participants of our certificate courses, which we keep on launching. So not to tell much about what we do, You all are, I assume that very much convinced on what we keep on doing. But this is a new series which we have launched, understanding that the participants before joining the course should be well aware of the aspects what they are going to get throughout the process. Once they are sure कि हाँ यार ये मेरे मतलब का है, ये मेरे काम का है, I am understanding it, and I think that I should enroll in it, then only you enroll. So basically, it's going to be a highlight of what you are going to take up for the certificate course on legal research. So specifically, this webinar is for getting or seeking a clarity on what you're going to receive on the aspect of legal research. Obviously, I'll also help you to understand some of the areas on legal research, how to draft, how to skim through the process. But I can be wrong on, or I cannot be very much 100% right on some aspect as far as the technical terms are concerned, since I am not the very point person, right? I believe the point person is Vishal Vyasa. But then I'll make sure, since I myself have had an opportunity of working as a researcher at National Human Rights Commission, I myself have gone through a lot many legal research in my work profile, right? So I have had an opportunity to also do conduct research even for the government of India. Getting back to the course which we have launched, right? So welcome to the webinar again. I hope everything is clear by now. Give me a thumbs up if everything is clear. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Makes sense. Thank you so much. So in the course, what we are going to cover, it's very clear that throughout the process, uh, I am assuming that you know that what is the process which we keep on conducting. There are total 8 to 10 classes. ठीक है? हर क्लास 1 घंटे का होता है. And in the classes, what we do is we try to cover those essential and basic aspect of the drafting, right? If I talk about the legal research for that matter, then you will be taught about the meaning, purpose, scope, then findings, research problem, the mode of approach, the methods, that is be it the doctrinal or empirical, qualitative, quantitative, mixed method, case law analysis, legal writing, and how you can actually convert your research into memo, paper presentation, or publication for that matter. So this is all of those aspects which we are going to also cover during the whole process. But this is a idea of so that you can understand and have a clarity. अब आते हैं एक बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण और बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एरिया पे कि व्हाट इज लीगल रिसर्च. As most of the participant, I presume, as I can also read it, you all have a sense of understanding. So to keep it very simple, legal research, as you can see also and read it into the slide as well, the legal research is a structured process of finding, number one, interpreting, इवेल्युएटिंग एंड कम्युनिकेटिंग लॉ. तो ये एक प्रोसेस है जिसमें आप हर एक एस्पेक्ट को, be it in the finding area or interpreting it or also connecting it with the law, and that in law we always talk about the rational nexus, right? So it's all about having the rational nexus of all those areas where you are quoting to. So you should not be legally wrong. You should know what is and what is the researcher is asking for and what you are going to produce. These are the two areas you need to be very clear about. अगर आपको आपके जहन में, आपके दिमाग में ये दो बातें क्लियर हैं, इफ यू आर वेल अवेयर ऑफ दोज टू एस्पेक्ट्स कि रिसर्चर क्या पूछ रहा है और रिसर्चर को क्या चाहिए, राइट? सो you need to ask it on your own. Number one, what is the legal issue, right? Number two, what is the law that is governing it? Number three, what do authorities actually say? Here, authorities means these statutes that has been designed to govern it. Number four, what is the current law and is it applicable? Let's say, for instance, if I talk about the new three criminal laws. So, what was the previous law in BNS or IPC or BNSS or CRPC, right? You need to be very clear about. And how does the law apply to these facts? Which specific section? What is the specific procedure? Who are these into the area? So before diving deep into the research, you need to be very clear about कि क्या जरूरत है, what is the researcher asking for. So you need to be clear about these issues. Number two, एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, व्हाट इज द रिसर्चर प्रोड्यूसेस. एक बार आपके दिमाग में आ गया कि हाँ भैया दिक्कत क्या है, प्रॉब्लम क्या है, नाउ यू आर गोइंग टू सॉल्व इट. सो व्हाट इज द रिसर्चर गोइंग टू प्रोड्यूस? सो you have to have a very clear legal proposition. Now, since you have realized the issue, now you're going to draft a legal proposition. Number two, you need to know the authorities supporting the proposition. You need to give a very reasoned analysis. For law, since we are, our website also says legal research and analysis. So you need to be very reasoned while you are analyzing it, right? Number four, you have to have a very defensive conclusion. Your statement cannot be vague. You have to have, as we in law, we always say that we do not depend upon the preponderance of probability. You need to prove beyond reasonable doubt. So you need to have a very defensive conclusion, and then your research should be traceable. कि आप ऐसा कुछ नया, ऐसा कुछ जो कभी एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करता था, you cannot do like that, right? You need to do something which is traceable and which is available and which can be cited. A very, very, very important concern now has been raised in the Supreme Court that most of the researchers who are doing legal research tend to depend upon the AI tools. The problem that is arising is these AI do a research, but then you cannot be 100% dependent upon their facts. एक बार तो ऐसा हुआ before I was reading on to, I heard that there was a case on which the Supreme Court had given a judgment on particular paragraph which was actually never existing in the original form, right? So the Supreme Court judges told that we also need to be very conscious on what the appellant or what the petitioner respondent is giving to us. We need to be very vigilant about it. So it's a two-way process. Initially, it was a hard work that was coming onto it, but now people are trying to be smart and also trying to use the AI. But you have to be, again, you have to always double check to it. So your research work is to be traceable as well. Now, the second very important concern is research, legal research क्यों important है? Why does this legal research matter? As you can see, very broadly, I have mentioned three aspects. That is very important in advocacy. बिना legal research का आप advocacy सोच ही नहीं सकते हैं. I presume that whoever is a good researcher, whoever is a good, well-read person, well-informed person, who know about law, who has done a good quality research, can also do the advocacy in a very smarter manner, right? As my senior always used to say that pleading before the court of law is the 10% work, right? 90% is the research which you do. 10% is only what you portray to the concerned judge about your research. So your research has to be very core and very foundational. Just a second. I'm getting a call. I'll just have to answer it. I'll just resume back. It's an important call. Harsh, can I do that?
Sure, sir.
Harsh, please confirm if I'm audible. Hi, good evening, everyone. Give me a thumbs
Yes,
up.
sir, yes, sir. Audible.
So now
Perfect.
government says
Perfectly.
that
ठीक है. Okay. So I was talking about why legal research matters. So बहुत obvious reason है. You need to, if you are an advocate, you need to build a very stronger argument. You need to identify the controlling authorities participating to it. You need to also anticipate a counter agreement and improve the drafting. मतलब एक if I am right, in most of the law school we have a moot court competition. In moot court competition, what we do is that we have to serve for the both sides, right? We also prepare for the respondent and also for the petitioner, and then we have to also argue and understand both the thing. This is also done just to understand and also create an analytical framework कि अगला क्या पूछेगा मैं जवाब पहले ही तैयार रख रहा हूँ. So that's why also research matters. Number two, for judiciary, I personally feel that for the judges, in order to identify the governing law, also to reconcile the judicial precedents, also to interpret the statutes and apply the principle to the fact. For judges also, it is very important to also do a legal research. While I was also doing an internship under a judge of High Court, he himself was doing a thorough legal research because he said that I cannot be dependent upon the research of my advocate who are going to plead. I have to do my own homework. So yes, it's something which we cannot deny the fact. Number three is for the academia and also for the policy. Those who are in the academic background, they very much understand the importance of research, where they need to identify the research gaps and generate the original analysis, support policies, recommendations, and publish scholarships for that matter. Thank you so much. Who is also stating what does legal research mean? I I have got an idea of it. ठीक है. This is the research workflow. If you can see research, what research outflow is, आप कैसे करते हैं. Now we have come into the stage जहाँ we actually do a research, and this is a stage. This is a step. I mean, you can have your own way to do the research, but इसको एक idealize, इसको एक basic strategy बनाया गया है, just to make more thing, just to make a clarity of understanding about the workflow. ठीक है. Number one is you need to identify a problem. I don't know why every time when I take this session, I get a call. I'll have to, yeah, I'm so sorry for the problem. Yeah, getting back to what is the research workflow? Research workflow here is to identify, yeah, I will provide a presentation file after the session end. There is a one short, एक छोटी सी criteria है for receiving the presentation. Let me complete the presentation. I'll let you know. Whoever attends, whoever remains throughout the process will get the presentation. And one more criteria, which I'll let you know later on. So let me complete it. Do not break my flow. Yeah, coming back to the research workflow. So you need to identify a problem. Number one is you know कि दिक्कत कहाँ है. ठीक है. Let's say if you are finding, if you have got a case where you have to find that that particular person has done theft or not. ठीक है. चोरी इसने करी है कि नहीं करी है. Let's go simple. So you need to identify a problem. Problem क्या है? चोरी हुई है. You have to frame a question. कौन से सेक्शन के अंदर चोरी होती है? पहले 378 में था. What is it in the new BNS? Anyone? Theft is defined under BNS under section. Please tell me. Harsh, what is it? 304 under
303, I guess.
303.
BNS.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. So now you need to frame the question. So you understand that there is a theft. Now you need to frame the question that why sort of issues have taken place. Has this particular, what are the evidences assigned to it? What are the questions that can be formed? The authorities who is going to take up the matter, right? You have to then read and analyze. Here the reading is on the statutory part. You need to read कि इससे related और क्या instances हैं. If you're going to protect the person, you have to read it that way. If you're going to defend the person, go against the person, you have to take it that way, right? Then you need to actually apply the whole process into the write-up, which you do it in the form of a written statement or reply or plaint for that matter, right? So this is the process where any research, I have given you an example where we do advocacy for that matter, right? So as you can say that we start with the legal issue, okay? Number then what we do is that we move from broad searching to targeted authority verification. And then what we do, we keep the research a proposition plus authority plus the page paragraph and then relevance, and then we start or we stop searching on additional sources. या तो ऐसा करते हैं हम, in general what we do is that we because it cannot should not be a bombardment of information. ऐसा नहीं कि हमने बहुत सारे information gather कर ली but we are not able to connect all of those. So you need to be very specific. You need to know what are the authorities who are there and what can be cited to, and बाद में अगर आपने cite किया so there cannot be any objections to it. Choosing a research topic. See, in all of our certificate courses, what we generally do is, that is a mandatory thing which you all will connect also, that we ask you to submit an assignment. And most of the time it happens that when the course comes to an end on the very conclusion day, most of the participants tend to say that, sir, we have not even chosen the topic. See, so the problem is we cannot take it lightly. Choosing a research topic in itself is a very, tough call. You cannot generalize a topic. You cannot, be very general to anything. You need to be very precise. You need to fine tune your topic, right? So in order to choose a good research topic, you need to have certain sense of understanding. Number one, you need to understand a very clear legal issue involved in it. Number two, you have to know what are the jurisdictions defined. Number three, you need to have an adequate source available. Number four, you need to manage your scope. And five, you need to understand the potential for the analysis and the original contribution. For instance, there is a new aspect to the punishment that is called community service, right? You want to do a research on community service. आपने बात कर ली कि इसकी implementational level पे, अभी उसको आए हुए 1 साल से ज्यादा नहीं हुआ, 1 साल हुआ, right? Obviously that's something which is not adjudicated. There is no standard operating procedure कि हम उसको कैसे करेंगे, right? So here you need to see that what is the potential of it, what are the available sources. You won't get many sources. It is very much within the discretion of the judges कि उनको community service कैसे देना है. For instance, Samir Raina ko, if you know him, obviously you must be knowing him, he have been given a punishment that whatever earning you get it from the shows you do, you have to also contribute it into the social affairs for that matter. That's a part of community service he have been. But again, the jurisdiction, the capacity, be it pecuniary jurisdiction, is not defined. It is completely on the discretionary part of the judge. So here you need to be very very precise कि आप क्या topic choose कर रहे हैं, और अगर आपने choose कर लिया और उसके related अगर आपके पास you don't have any document, if you do not have any further research available, so you cannot have the legal backup and you cannot have the comparative study analysis. So you need to be very, very clear about what is the research topic you need to go. So what we need to avoid is, you need to avoid broad themes, right? You need to be very purely descriptive and not also purely descriptive. You need to avoid the questions with no accessible data, which I talked about. ठीक है? अभी community services से related कोई हमारे पास खास data है नहीं. Topics which no identifiable research gaps, or title that contain entire confusion. So you cannot start with something which has come to an end, right? So this is I presume you understand it. Then from topic to research problem. अब जब मैं presume कर रहा हूँ कि आपने topic choose कर लिया, now you have chosen the topic, now you have to approach the research problem. दिक्कत क्या है? So there is a three to four important aspect which any research for that matter includes, be it legal research or any traditional research. Research includes topic, which you have already chosen, Problem, you need to identify the problem. Research question is very important. Ideally, from the research problem, only research question is derived. Okay? And number four is the objective. Research objective is very important. That these four things will help you to actually frame your whole research. Once you have in your mind, हाँ भाई मेरे को टॉपिक क्लियर है, मेरे को प्रॉब्लम भी क्लियर है, क्वेश्चंस मैंने डिफाइन कर लिए, ऑब्जेक्टिव्स मुझे निकालने हैं, ठीक है, ये ऑब्जेक्टिव्स मीट कर रहे हैं कि नहीं. इफ यू हैव क्लैरिटी ऑन अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑन दीज एस्पेक्ट्स, आई थिंक इट विल बी आइस केक फॉर यू. ठीक है. Then again, research questions, research objectives, and hypothesis. Do you understand the term hypothesis? Can anyone please write down in the chat box what do you mean by the term hypothesis? You can write in the chat box. I assume that you know research question and objective. What is hypothesis? Harsh, can you please read it out?
Pooja has written assumptions.
Okay, okay. Very, मतलब ठीक है. Hypothesis is testing assumptions only. Theory बहुत ही generalized हो गया. DP सिंह सर क्या कह रहे हैं?
A statement to be validated through the research.
ठीक है, ठीक है.
Amur says possible answers to the problem by research.
अरे, very good.
Maria Bhatt says propositions or educated guesses to guide legal research. Basically
Okay.
the same. Proposed idea or educated guess that explains an observation or a set of data.
Whoa, that's something which I was about to say. That's so nice. Perfect. We'll settle down here. So basically, it's some assumption was right. It's kind of intelligent guess as well, where you are testing your hypothesis कि मैंने जो assume किया था, मैंने जो सोचा था, क्योंकि आप एक बड़े प्लान करने से पहले आप एक पायलट स्टडी करते हो, ठीक है, कि आपको पता है कि काम करेगा नहीं करेगा, करेगा नहीं करेगा. सो व्हाट यू डू, यू प्रिपेयर अ हाइपोथेसिस, यू अज्यूम दैट समथिंग इज गोइंग टू हैपन, लेट्स टेस्ट ऑन आवर assumption. So hypothesis is basically a framework which you try to devise it in the initial phase and then try to test that if your framework is actually working or not, in simple, right? So I understand that you all understand the very basic meaning of hypothesis. Research question, I understand कि आपको पता है कि research question कैसे बनाना है, research objectives आपको कैसे frame करना है. I'll share the PPT, don't worry. Primary legal sources and secondary legal sources. I'm not going to dive into the deep of it. Primary is legal questions or primary questions या primary sources वो होते हैं जो आपके ऐसे होते हैं जो बहुत authoritative nature के होते हैं. For example, constitution. Constitution is known to be the supreme law of the land, right? So similarly, these statutes, rules and regulations, these are the primary sources. जैसे let's say अगर आपको कहीं का क्राइम का रिपोर्ट अगर आपको ढूंढना है कि कितने केसेस हुए हैं यहाँ पे, तो व्हाट डू यू डू इज यू गो टू द एनसीआरबी डेटा, क्योंकि आपको पता है कि एनसीआरबी ने इतने डेटा कलेक्ट करे होंगे, नेशनल क्राइम इंफॉर्मेशन ब्यूरो, राइट? Similarly goes with the secondary research, where you see that there is not many primary research and you have to substantiate your information with the secondary information. You can use the research here, where you can see to the case laws, judgments, any of the commentaries, maybe law review for that matter, legal encyclopedia, research reports. So these are the backups to the primary source which you do. So ये दोनों बहुत important चीजें हैं. You cannot miss out on the point. Now, if you talk about the legal research tools, this is something which is there to make your work easy. ठीक है? You need to be very smart, very smart. It is not recommended, it is not suggested कि you actually go to the ground, you actually do the, I mean, obviously you can do that if you have ample time for that matter. If you're doing your PhD, you have 3 to 4 years span where you can do a deep research. But in general, what you do is you try to be very smart, where how you can use these tools to help you make your task easier. For instance, if you talk about the first word, that is the keyword research, where you start and then start it broad and then narrow it down. For example, here an example has been taken about data privacy. So data privacy, they have tried to narrow it down in data privacy consent and what is valid consent under DPDPA Act. Okay, that is Digital Data Protection and Privacy Act. Right? And what are the exact sections and terminologies? You need to understand the importance of keywords. They are very important. Once you understand that आपके basic keywords क्या है, then what you do is you do a Boolean logic. ये actually ये बहुत ही specific हो जा रहा है. You need to be very clear about where you are using your and or not. These are some of those quotation marks where you have to be very specific about the terminologies, right? And then you need to find the terminologies, you need to lead the authorities, and then you have to also check what you are citing with the current law. So these are some of the tools. I believe that when you will actually take up the session, you will get to use these tools. You'll get to understand the utility of this course. If you all are also aware of the aspect of uh, SPSS tools, no voice tools. So these are some of those, Novik. These are some of the tools which tend to these researchers tend to use it during their deep research. Now coming to the case law research, since we all are doing a kind of a legal research strategy, so you need to understand how you actually do a case law research, because this is going to be very, very important for you as an advocate, as a law student, as any of the person who is working in the field of law. Number one, you need to know the facts of the case, right? Number two, what are the issues, fact and issue, which we talk in evidence. Then the submissions, reasoning, ratio, and relief. These are the very broad aspect where you need to dive into it. You need to be very clear with your facts, very clear with the issues which you are lining up and you are going to fight onto. Your submissions has to be very specific. You cannot hid behind the bush. You have to have a very solid reasoning and on what ratio you are basing your reasoning on, right? And then you need to be very clear with your prayer, which we call also a relief or result. Okay, now these are the some of the statutory research and interpretations in that matter. So बहुत सारे ऐसे रिसर्च होते हैं जहां पे जुडिशियल इंटरप्रिटेशन की जरूरत पड़ती है, राइट? तो हियर दीज आर सम ऑफ द स्टैट्यूट चेकलिस्ट विच यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर कि आपने कुछ गलत तो नहीं कर दिया है जब आप साइट कर रहे थे. आप यू हैव टू चेक if the sections are correct, if the definitions are correct, if the amendments, rules, or any of the legislative contexts are relevant or not. You also need to see that what we are interpreting, let's say in the purview of Article 14, Article 19, Article 21, which we call also a golden principle. So Article 21 for that matter, or these golden rule principles are interpreted the most. If I talk about Article 21, which talks about of the Constitution, which talks about the right to life and personal liberty, the most interpreted article for that matter in the Constitution, right? So you need to also see that if you are doing any literal interpretation, literal meaning, or any contextual meaning, if you're doing any harmonious construction for that matter, that should not be in conflict with the other provision. You have to have a sense of balance that we talk about the harmonious construction, right? So these are some of the aspects which you need to keep in mind while you are interpreting any question. If I talk about the doctrinal and empirical research, do you understand the difference between doctrinal research and empirical research? Can you give me a small idea on it? It's very basic. I'll let you know, but I want to see my audience understand it or not. What is the difference between doctrinal research and empirical research? Very easy. Do not get confused. What do you understand by doctrinal research and empirical research? Because this is going to help you. No options? ठीक है. I'm assuming that you might not have a sense of clarity on it. So by the term doc, okay.
I think we have a few replies. So, doctrinal research anal- analyzes existing laws and statutes, Maria
Mm-hmm,
says.
mm-hmm. ठीक है देखो okay one more Charul.
Yeah, Charles says doctrinal research mainly focuses on the legal doctrines, statutes, and
Hmm.
case judgments, while empirical focuses on people, society, and data.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. Good. I like the understanding. Yes, Surya.
Surya says one is based on observations and doctrinal on laws, statutes.
ठीक है
Empirical
ठीक
research focuses on human behavior and social facts.
ठीक है ठीक हालांकि लीगल रिसर्च के बारे में हमने पूछा नहीं था बट ठीक है ठीक है coming back to the doctrinal and empirical so the term itself says the document it's a documented form right so whatever there it is documented whatever there is a scope of theoretical area be it in form of authoritative sources like the constitutional provisions rules commentaries cases statutes which you do a critical or legal study on, right? So it's a kind of documented and theoretical work which you do on for a research purpose, right? The existing literature is being researched upon, right? Number two is empirical. It's called a more of a field work based study where you do not only just depend or rely upon the document that has been there in the statute or any of the finding for that matter you actually want to dive deep into it and you do a field study okay empirical majorly covers those areas where you get to involve by doing your survey by doing conducting an interview by doing an observations database case study analysis so what here you do is here you the evidence is about the behavior the implementational attitudes and outcome whereas in doctrinal research we do more of an interpretative aspect right you interpret the document where in empirical research you actually dive deep into the attitudes behavior of that particular aspect so you need to be very clear about it coming about the qualitative and quantitative प्लीज एनीवन की बहुत कंफ्यूजन होती है बहुत इजी है लेकिन लोगों के बीच में बहुत कंफ्यूजन होती है क्योंकि ये थोड़ा सिनोनिमस साउंड करता है व्हाट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड बाय द टर्म क्वालिटेटिव एंड क्वांटिटेटिव यू कैन रीड इट आउट एंड यू कैन देन टेल मी बट बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट इट ये मैं इसलिए भी बता रहा हूँ क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूँ कि जब आप एक्चुअल में क्लासरूम करें when you actually get to attend the sessions you do not tend to get confused sir will obviously explain you on those aspects but I just want to know what my audience understand about it. Very basic, very easy. You can also use it from the verbatim, the term quality, quantity. Okay? So quality is more of what the which explores the meaning, experience, what is the quality that you do it, right? So you find the qualitative approach through interviews, FGDs, that is focal group discussions, document case studies. And in quantity, what you do is you depend upon the numbers, variables, quantity, one, two, three, four, right? So what you do is you do a survey, collect the database, you do a statistical analysis test. It's more of a quantity. So you need to be very clear about your study is going to support qualitative or quantitative major most of the research in fact while what I was also doing conducting my research during my masters from Mumbai uh, through since I was working on the qualitative as well as quantitative aspect so I had approach to the process called mixed method approach where I used both the methods qualitative as well as quantitative so most of the researchers tend to go through this method because they tend to I mean they get an opportunity to also go to the field collect the data have some quantitative study as well as qualitative study so this is a general mode which I see the common trend on right now it is one of the most important aspect, that is literature review. कहा जाता है कि आपका रिसर्च कितना अच्छा या कितना खराब है, आपके लिटरेचर रिव्यू से पता चलता है. क्योंकि लिटरेचर इन लिटरेचर रिव्यू you actually dive deep into the existing literature, and you cull out, you find the gap in the existing literature. So it's very important that you do a good quality literature review, right? So because literature review help you to understand where you need to be very conscious about and where you need to fill those gaps. Okay, so for that what you do is, there is a process. Number one, you start searching on a problem. You try to screen out what is the problem that are there and what is important for me. You need to map out, everything has to be very clear in your mind. Number four, you have to compare कि मेरी स्टडी, उनकी स्टडी, एग्जिस्टिंग स्टडी, दूसरे कंट्रीज में क्या स्टडीज हो रही हैं. यू नीड टू कंपेयर एवरी अदर एरियाज, राइट? यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई द गैप. Identifying the gap is the most important part, because there are n number of studies in the area. You cannot do it in just one trial, that you have read any aspect and all of a sudden you realize the gap. You need to keep on studying it, keep on researching on it, and then only you will be in a situation where you can identify the actual gap. To identify a research gap in itself is something which is very important aspect. And then it's very easy. You need to position your study, you need to categorize it academically. So identifying research gap is very important. Coming to the research methodology, सबसे ज्यादा टेक्निकल, सबसे ज्यादा लोग बचते हैं इस प्रोसेस से, क्योंकि ये थोड़ा सा अप्रोच जो है वो थोड़ा सा मेहनत मांगता है. रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी एंड रिसर्च डिजाइन, यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर अबाउट कि आपको कैसे करना है. I could provide you the recorded lectures, dear. I can also provide you the research process, research methodology, the research which I have conducted before taking up this webinar. But then there is one criteria which you all need to be very clear about, which I'm going to let you know just after a few slides. I'm just going to end. I Just give me a thumbs up if whatever I'm teaching you, am I able to make you all understand? Are you clear with it? Just give me a thumbs up. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. And when I am trying to explain, I am using also vernacular language, that is Hindi. So is it okay with you? Because I can see there are also participants from South India. Perfect. So most of you are also comfortable in the process that is English. ठीक, perfect, perfect. ठीक है, perfect. So far so good. ठीक है. Research method, okay, let me continue. Research methodology and research design in general is very important, because any of the method क्या होता है, तरीका होता है कि आपने सर्च तो कर लिया कि ठीक है मेरे को रिसर्च करना है, मैंने लॉ सेलेक्ट कर लिया, मैंने टॉपिक सेलेक्ट कर लिया, मैंने लिटरेचर रिव्यू में प्रॉपर रिसर्च कर लिया, मैंने गैप ढूंढ लिए, अब मेरे पास मटेरियल तैयार है. ठीक है, लेकिन मेरे को मेथड भी तो पता होना चाहिए कि मैं इस चीज को अप्लाई कैसे करूं, मेरा तरीका क्या होगा, मेरा डिजाइन कैसे बनेगा, राइट? सो यू नीड टू बी वेरी क्लियर विथ योर एनालिटिकल अप्रोच. सो दिस इज द शो टाइम वेयर actual research methodology is to be very clear. Number one, you need to be clear with your research approach. You need to be clear with your research design. You need to know your sources you are citing. You need to know your sampling strategy. Snowball sampling hai, Pau-Zip sampling hai, any of those sampling method. Data collection कैसे करना है, कहाँ से करना है, data collect तो कर लिया, उसको analyze कैसे करना है, what are the limitations to it. You need to be very clear. See, you cannot expect from me कि मैं आपको हर एक चीज बहुत डिटेल में समझाऊं. I know each and everything. ठीक है, but then if due to paucity of time, it's already 8 o'clock, so I am just trying to help you understand that these are an important aspect of research methodology. There is also aspect called quality control. मतलब आपको लिमिट में रहना है, आपको you have to also mention the ethical consideration in general, right? कि आप बाईपास ना कर दें, आप एक बायस ना करें, आप रिसर्च करने के चक्कर में ऐसा ना कर दें कि यू आर ब्रीचिंग द गैप दैट इज लेजिटिमेट. You cannot do anything which is unethical. So you need to understand also the limitations of the research. Let's say, for example, in my case, I was researching on the Afghan refugees when these Taliban 2.0 captured Afghanistan in my international research. So it was a very sensitive area where I got to actually do an interview with a Taliban for that matter. He happened to study at Kabul University, right? So that was something which was very sensitive, and I had to understand my limitations to the study. Obviously, I could not have gone to Afghanistan and do a research for that matter. So I need to know the limitations, and also I had a non-disclosure agreement. It had to be anonymous. So you need to understand where the limitations are, right? Now, द इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट अब ये क्या हुआ ना कि जब आपने रिसर्च कर ली तो आपको एक चीज और मेंटेन करना है जो कि आजकल नहीं हो रहा है दैट इज यू ऑल आर नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट योर ओन माइंड योर ओन कॉग्निटिव फैकल्टी ऑफ माइंड इज रॉटिंग एज जैसे जैसे एआई का टूल आया है जैसे जैसे काम आपका आसान बनता गया है आप उतना लेजी बनते गए हो so you need to understand there is a term called research ethics where you cannot copy anyone's else data and cite and so you need to cite the original source for that matter. You need to understand the aspect of research integrity. You need to have a human participation. You have to take informed consent jahan jahan zarurat pade. You have to maintain the privacy confidentiality, right? So there you need to understand what sources, what data you can disclose, what you cannot disclose. You need to maintain that professional conduct as well, right? Now, to come about the citation. Citation is something thoda technical hai, but then just to give a short area that for any citation, any mode of citation, there are n number of mode of citation. MLA, Chicago, Blue Book, Oscola. There are n number of citations. You need to be very clear कि आप कौन सा citation use कर रहे हो in your footnotes. Whatever mode of citation you are using, just maintain one thing, that is you have to maintain the regularity. There has to be a common mode of citation throughout your paper. It cannot, like पहले 10 पेज में मैंने ब्लू बुक यूज किया फिर मजा नहीं आ रहा तो मैंने फिर ILI कर लिया, right? या ऑस्कोला कर लिया. You cannot do like that. You have to be very clear with it. How to do a citation is a different game altogether. I'm not going to dive in deep on it. You have to do this course for understanding how to do a research for that matter. ठीक है. Now comes the final call. That is, अब आपने रिसर्च कर लिया, अब आपने डेटा कलेक्ट कर लिया, आपने एनालाइज कर लिया, आपने प्रॉपर रिसर्च कर लिया. अब टाइम आया है कि नाउ you are going to actually write it. Your manuscript is going to be ready for that matter. Okay? For that, you need to be very clear with some of those pointers. Number one, you need to be very clear. By now, obviously, you will be clear with your issue. What are the rule that is going to apply to it? Who are these authorities you are going to cite? What analysis you have drawn? What is the result? What is the outcome? What is the counterpart? आपके पास उसके suggestions वो भी हो सकते हैं, recommendations हो सकते हैं, and then you conclude it. This is a very basic framework which you need to adhere to while doing a legal writing, right? Now, एक बेसिक सा फॉर्मेट, एक बेसिक सा आपको स्ट्रक्चर मैंने बता दिया है कि आपका फ्रंट एंड कैसा होना चाहिए, आपका कोर एनालिसिस कैसा होना चाहिए और आपका एंड में कंक्लूजन में क्या क्या होना चाहिए. जो बहुत बेसिक सी चीजें, आपका टाइटल से शुरू होगा, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट, कीवर्ड्स, इंट्रोडक्शन, रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम, रिसर्च ऑब्जेक्टिव्स, रिसर्च मेथोडोलॉजी, going in detail about the core analysis, about the literature review, be doctrinal or empirical, right? Or comparative or thematic or discussion for that matter. Then you come to the end, that is the conclusion, recommendations. See, recommendation is very important. Recommendations and conclusion are something which you actually write your own terms, ठीक है, जो आपका समझ बताता है, which tells that how much you have understood the course. ठीक है. So when you are giving any recommendation, it reflects your understanding about the topic, and then it is coming from within you, from your study, your core area. So you need to be very smart when you're giving a recommendations. Sometimes good research recommendations are also taken up by the ministries, right? So while I was working at National Human Rights Commission, we were conducting n number of researches with various universities. They used to give us recommendations. Since I was also dealing with the refugee laws, so while conducting a research with IIT Kharagpur, they give very good suggestions for that matter. And then I took those recommendations to the Ministry of Home Affairs. And then we had a proper discussion on the national refugee law policy. Obviously, that has not come into the picture right now. But what I'm telling about the recommendation is these are very important because these actually help the person to gaze the result. The recommendations make you more approachable to the area which is not very clear around, right? So recommendations are very important. Then you need to cite the bibliography, data material for that matter. यूजिंग एआई इन लीगल रिसर्च, देखो एआई जैसे मैंने तुम्हें बताया, एआई का अच्छा यूज और एक हार्म दोनों मैं बताता हूँ. एआई बहुत अच्छा है, क्यों? क्योंकि लेट्स से आपको कोई भी रिसर्च करना है, आपको कुछ नहीं पता उसके बारे में, आपका इंटरेस्ट बहुत है, यार मेरे को रिसर्च करना है लेकिन मेरे को ना ज्यादा आइडिया नहीं है, तो मैं क्या करता हूँ कि मैं एआई को ना प्रॉम्प्ट दे देता हूँ कि भाई देख मेरे को ना ऐसा ऐसा रिसर्च करना है और मेरे को तू बता कि इसमें क्या मैं कर सकता हूँ, ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग कर सकता हूँ, ठीक है? तो आप उसके साथ ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग कीजिए कि नहीं यार तू कुछ और बता, तू कुछ और बता. यू गिव प्रॉम्प्ट्स, ठीक है? यू ट्राई टू प्ले अराउंड, ठीक है? यू ट्राई टू सी वेयर यू आर गोइंग टू कनेक्ट दैट पर्टिकुलर डॉट, ठीक है? सो व्हाट यू कैन डू इज, व्हाट इज द गुड यूजेस, यू कैन ब्रेनस्टॉर्म, यू कैन क्रिएट एनी ट्री फॉर दैट मैटर, कि आप उन्होंने आपको एक फ्रेमवर्क बना के दे दिया कि आप इन इन एरियाज पे रिसर्च कर सकते हो, इस पे बहुत कम रिसर्च हुआ है, इस पे डिटेल मटेरियल भी काफी ज्यादा है, आप कर सकते हो. एआई ने आपको इतना हेल्प कर दिया. हाँ, क्या नहीं करना है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है आप लोगों के लिए, दैट इज एक्सेप्टिंग व्हाट देयर इज अनसाइटेड लीगल क्लेम्स, कि भैया अब जो भी एआई ने दे दिया सब सही है, अब कौन इतना मेहनत करे, इतना मेहनत इसने डीप रिसर्च की होगी तो सही की होगी. डू नॉट, do not depend 100% on it. Do not rely upon the citations which AI is doing it. Do not use the generated text without verification. You need to understand that AI has a limitation. वो वही रिसर्च करता है जो एल्गोरिदम में टॉप पे दिखाता है. मैंने कल को जाके एक आर्टिकल लिख दी किसी चीज पे, साइबर क्राइम पे एक आर्टिकल लिख दी जिसमें मैंने बहुत गलत गलत फेक साइटेशन जनरेट करके लिख दी है, लेकिन मेरा वो एल्गोरिदम शूट कर गया, उसका सर्च इंजन ऑप्टिमाइजेशन एसईओ बहुत अच्छा हो गया, वो रैंक करने लग गया नंबर 1 पे. आपने रिसर्च किया, वही फेक डेटा आपको दिखा दिया, आपने वही चीज साइट कर दी. दैट्स अ ब्लंडर. So you can take an idea from one aspect, but you cannot definitely depend upon it. I hope that makes sense. Give me a thumbs up if it's clear. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Now it's show time. It's presenting your legal research. अब जो आपने कर लिया, अब आपको दिखाना है कि, तो obviously you need to be very clear कि आपका statement problem क्या है, what are the findings, where and how you can actually close your statement. ठीक है? You have to answer by now. अब आपके पास हर चीज का सवाल का जवाब होना होगा because you are going to present the legal research. So now you cannot you do not have that window of doubt. By now you are expected कि अब आपको clarity of understanding आ गया है. Now it's time to publish your research. Our we have a journal named Journal of Legal Research and Analysis. We also take your articles and publish it on our journal. Our journal is indexed with ISSN number. ISSN number is International Standard Serial Number, right? Only those journal get the ISSN number who are authentic, who this the registered network of India identifies it. It's an approved government of India thing, right? So you need to select a journal. For instance, you have taken a journal named Journal of Legal Research and Analysis, number 1. You need to read the guidelines. We also give you guidelines for submission. You need to read it, a guideline. Then you need to prepare a manuscript. Your manuscript, which I presume that I have taken you through the process, you have read and you have prepared the manuscript. You need to do a proper citation and also check the sources and what are the citation style for that matter. And then you submit it. as far as my knowledge is concerned, for a single author, we ask you to submit 1000 your article after doing a proper review. So once you submit to our journal, this is the area where you're done with your work. Now what we do is we review and we try to respond to your manuscript. जब हमारी एडिटोरियल बोर्ड आपके रिसर्च को देखती है, just a second, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible, sir.
Okay, because I could not see it on my own. Just a second. Yeah, ठीक है. So what we do is we try to respond to your own your thing, right? So हम आपको क्या बोलते हैं? हम आपको बोलते हैं कि आप करेक्ट करो उसको, ठीक है? We try to be in touch with you through mail, and then you have to respond to the reviews which we are giving, and then we finally publish your work. There is a practical exercise which I thought to do it, but due to paucity of time, I don't think I'll be able to do that. So there is a problem and there is some sort of task which I happen to thought to, do it with you. So are you interested in this task? Tell me, then only I'll do it, or else I'll move on. Interested one can say interested, or else I can move forward. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. मतलब अभी भी आप लोगों के अंदर एनर्जी बची हुई है. That's great. मैं पानी पी लूं क्या एक मिनट? What you can do is, meanwhile I'm sipping, you can read to the problem, and so that it will be easy for you. ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. संजय सर says time's up, sir. ठीक है. Just going through a mini research challenge. So you understood the problem. Problem is एक स्टैट्यूट है जो 2025 में अमेंड हुआ था. 2024 में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इंटरप्रेट किया था और उसको एक अनअमेंडेड प्रोविजन बताया था. ठीक है, कि इसको लेट्स टेक एन इंस्टेंस ऑफ मैरिटल रेप. ठीक है, मैरिटल रेप पे अभी कोई लॉ अभी फिलहाल नहीं आया है, but then statute was amended. Let's assume that statute was amended in 24. Supreme Court judgment interpreted that unamended provisions, and a later High Court judgment applies on the amended text differently. तो यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन क्या है? How would you determine the current position? ठीक है, यहाँ पे कन्फ्लिक्ट ऑफ वो आ रहा है, जजमेंट आ रहा है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इंटरप्रेट किया उस प्रोविजन को, लेकिन बाद में हाई कोर्ट के जजमेंट अप्लाई हो रहा है उस amended text पे differently. So here you need to identify the problem, and here the task is you need to frame the legal issue, identify the primary sources, search for the subsequent treatment. You need to verify the amended text, extract the issue, and then you can state the current position. ये एक ऐसा टास्क है, अगर आप चाहो तो you can take a screenshot of this and try to apply it, try to solve this problem. I'm not explaining you because Sanjay sir is right, because it's already 8:10, 8:15. So we have to sum up also. There are 2 to 3 more slides left. So you need to be very clear कि अगर आपके पास कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है तो आप उसको कैसे सॉल्व करोगे. ठीक है, ठीक है. This is a checklist of what I have prepared for all of you. जब भी आप कोई रिसर्च करो तो आप ये बेसिक चेकलिस्ट देख लेना कि क्या मैंने इन चीजों को किया था अपने साथ में जब मैं रिसर्च कर रहा था. क्या मैंने Have I stated the exact legal issue? क्या मेरे रिसर्च क्वेश्चंस आंसरेबल हैं, फोकस सही डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हैं कि नहीं, क्या मैंने जो अथॉरिटी साइट करी थी वो प्रॉपर थी कि नहीं है, क्या रेशियो ओबाइटा डिक्टा क्या आया है इसका, क्या मैंने प्रॉपरली साइट किए हैं रिसोर्सेज को, डिड आई आल्सो मेंटेन द कॉन्फिडेंशियलिटी, एथिकल स्टैंडर्ड्स. सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द चेकलिस्ट व्हिच यू नीड टू अडहेयर टू. देखो, की टेकअवेज आप समझ सकते हो इस पूरे प्रोसेस से कि आपको बहुत क्लियर होना होगा अपने रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम्स के साथ. You need to be very clear about how you're going to find and verify your primary authorities, You need to read the cases and the statutes analytically. Also, you need to write down the propositions, and you need to also cite and also keep on updating it. I think that we are done with the process. Uh, I think that the right person, Mr. Vishal Vyas, is there to explain you everything in detail. बहुत ही कायदे से he have been one of those faculties जिसको हम हमेशा cherish करते हैं, because we understand that sir has that you know uh, you know sense of understanding to make you all be very clear about the approach. हो सकता है कि कुछ जगह पे मैं आपको बेहतर नहीं समझा पाया, वहां पे आपको विशाल सर बहुत ही बेहतरीन तरीके से समझाएंगे। जैसे एक प्रैक्टिकल टास्क था जो मैं शायद आपके साथ अभी डिस्कस नहीं कर पाया, ऐसे देर आर गोइंग टू बी सिमिलर नेचर ऑफ प्रैक्टिकल टेस्ट फॉर यू विच यू आर गोइंग टू गेट ऑन टू। ठीक है, तो एज आई ऑलरेडी स्टेटेड दैट आवर सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स इज गोइंग टू स्टार्ट फ्रॉम 22nd of August to 22nd of September. The best part is that it's going to be on the weekends from 8 to 9 p.m. So you can settle down from your busy schedule. You can come. I can see that there are working professionals also. You can come to the home, settle down. From 8 to 9, you can attend the certificate course on legal research, where I assume that you have understood कि आपको क्या क्या मिलेगा. As far as the benefits are concerned, obviously you will be getting a company certified e-certificate. You will be getting a publication opportunity, internship opportunity, recommendations letter. There are n number of things that are lined up. Just a second. ठीक है. So as you can see that in the current page, we have our poster on legal research going to start from tomorrow. ठीक है. I think I am done with my part explaining you what you are going to get, but it is just a second. I'm so sorry. This is your area where you need to actually scan the QR code and get yourself enrolled to it. I think that Harsh, what you can do is you can also share it. I mean, there it's already been shared in the group, right, Harsh?
Yes, sir. It has already been shared yesterday as well, and we'll share it by today also, so that participants who are interested can join it, and it will be recirculated among the groups today as well.
Okay, perfect. And one thing more you can do it, if you want to skip that process, you can just scan it from here itself. You can take a screenshot of it and you can scan it and get yourself enrolled as soon as possible. I think that this is something which all of you, 56 to 60 participants who are staying with us for now, इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ट्रस्ट मी। अगर ये मेरे क्लासरूम स्ट्रक्चर में जब मैं लॉ कर रहा था, जब मैं एडवोकेसी कर रहा था, अगर मुझे ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता, आई वुड हैव डेफिनेटली चोजन दिस, because it's not about money, it's not about 1500, it's about the quality which you are going to get, it's about your own career growth which you are going to get after doing a good सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स ऑन लीगल रिसर्च। और वो ये चीज आपको कोई और, मैं जबकि एक रिसर्चर हूं, मैं आपको अगर समझा पा रहा हूं, तो जो बंदा खुद एक सिविल जज है, जो खुद ही कितना रिसर्च करते होंगे अपने पार्ट पे, वो आपको समझाएंगे, तो आप सोचो कि इसका दायरा कितना बढ़ जाएगा। So it's on you. I'm not forcing. It's not something which I am asking you to mandatorily do. But I feel that had I given this opportunity, I would definitely think of enrolling myself in this course. I think that I am done with my part. So Harsh, you can formally close this webinar. Or if there is any further questions, I'm okay with it.
Sure, sir. I can see in the chat box that people are asking for the certificate which will, if they will get for this particular webinar. So yes, you will have to just do some formalities and you will be eligible to secure the certificate for today's webinar as well. So I will just share my screen just now. Sir, can you just stop your presentation? Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. As you can see on your screens right now, a Google form will be showing. Is my screen visible to all? Yeah, okay.
Yes, perfect.
So this particular Google form has to be filled out by each and every one of you, and only then you will be eligible to get the certificate for today's webinar as well. Okay, what I am doing is I am just sharing this particular Google Form link on the chat box. Those who will be filling the form, only those participants will be eligible to get the certificate. So you can do it just right now, or you can just copy paste the link from here and you can fill it separately. So this is the criteria for getting the certificate for webinar, and the PPT will be shared by sir. So that's, if you are
Yeah, yeah.
unable to
Hazel says that she's unable to
do
open
one
it.
thing, Hazel, just drag and drop this link in your website. Are you joining? Have you joined from phone or laptop? That's important to know. Those who have joined from laptop, just drag and drop the URL on your Google tab, Chrome tab. It will be opening very smoothly.
नहीं ये तो खुल रहा है. I can see it.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
properly
It's
opening.
just drag and drop it, and it will open. And meanwhile, if others have any doubt regarding the course, or do you have any questions that you might clear right now, you can definitely ask.
You can also give a review on how
Yes.
did I perform? Was I able to make you all understand what is legal research?
Uh, Joanna, you will get the certificate within 1 or 2 days. Charul says it was a very amazing session, sir. Personally, if I would have wanted to join, I would have been sold by now. Actually, I would have spent 50 minutes. Yes, it was a good session overall. Yes, Shabazz also says it was a superb session.
Thank you everyone.
See, we
मतलब
have
मेरा
52
मेरा इतना
participants.
चलना ना वेस्ट नहीं गया.
If we have 52 participants still right now, I presume that we'll
Hmm.
have 50, at least 50 submissions in the Google form as well.
See, all of those, I'm assuring, all of those who are staying by now are going to get a certificate. You just need to fill the Google form. Number two,
Absolutely.
uh, yes,
No, no, sir,
yeah.
continue,
Number
continue.
number two, out of my experience, मैं अपने experience से बताता हूँ. मैं जब फर्स्ट ईयर में, सेकेंड ईयर में, थर्ड ईयर में लॉ स्टूडेंट था, I was also running for the certificates, right? Because I wanted to, uh, I mean, not myself, but I wanted my CV to look good. ठीक है. For that, I rushed for the certificates. I did lot many certificate course and participation certificate for that matter. But then lately, I realized that when you actually go into the, corporate field or any area where actual skill is required, they do not give lot many, advantage to those who have just participated in any webinar or seminar for that matter. If you actually happen to get a company certified certificate course, a 1 month certificate course, 2 month certificate course, like Coursera or other platforms do, they have more authenticity in comparison to it. It is not that I'm denying that we will be not giving you a certificate, but it's just that I am giving you a reality check कि अगर आप एक सर्टिफिकेट कोर्स में इनरोल करके कंपनी सर्टिफाइड सर्टिफिकेट लेते हो, where you get to do the research, you get to submit your assignment will be published. That's a holistic process, and that will not only help you to get a certificate will be a byproduct of it, but then the knowledge and the skill which you will attain, that's something which is valuable. I personally feel वहां पे पैसा वसूल टाइप फील आएगी आपको. Rest is up to you. ठीक है. I think that Harsh, I think we
Yeah,
have come up. Yes. One last thing. As far as the PPT is concerned, I presume कि PPT अच्छा बना था. That why only people are asking about it. And I also know that PPT is nice. I have done good research on it. But then only those participants who actually enroll into the course will be getting the PPT, and it is not available in the public domain. I'm so sorry. I'm sounding little rude, but this is what it is. if you get into the course, you will be getting the certificate. Sorry, you will not only get the certificate, but also very first day, that is tomorrow itself. If today only you are going to get enrolled, I'll be sharing the PPT on that particular WhatsApp group on where all the participants are there. So it's on you if you want those, so PPT which I have prepared, and also some guidance from Vishal sir. You are happy to. We all are happy to host you. So thank you so much. Thank you, Harsh, for moderating.
Thank you so much, sir. And
Yeah,
with
that is
this,
the criteria. The question is coming, sir, but you mentioned about the criteria. The criteria is joining the course.
Maria, you can directly use the payment link which has already been shared on the all the groups that we have created so far. I believe you are still uh, in your particular course group. So if you check, if you just scroll down at the very end, you will find the payment link for the legal research course as well. So kindly go through that, and you will be able to enroll in the course. I think we can conclude the session now.
ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है. Tomorrow, I am hoping that I'll see you in the orientation program, where myself and Vishal sir will be also there to host you all. So all the best, everyone, for the upcoming certificate course. Thank you so much, Harsh, for being so nice. I know that you were ambidextrously handling other courses also, but you happen to be there available for me. Thank you so much, Harsh, and thank you,
Thank you.
participants. Kudos to
Thank
everyone.
you, participants. We'll see you tomorrow. We hope that we see you tomorrow in the orientation session as well. Thank you so much. Maria, you can directly connect with me. I will share the link with you directly.
What one thing more you can do is, some participants are saying that they are not in the group. You can just leave your phone number here so that they can reach out who are the new students.
Yeah, that can also be done.
Or anyway, if you are filling this Google form, there is a section which asks your number. If you happen to fill that form, we will be able to trace you from there.
Thank you so much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Okay, I have got your number, Maria. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.